Live and welcome everyone to this week's edition of Stack Your Live. It's our live portion of the Stack Your Points podcast. As always, I'm joined by RJ from DTake Cards. RJ, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, Matt. I had a long day, a lot of meetings today, but we are here and it is Friday Eve, which is always exciting.
Yes. I had not so many meetings today, but a bunch of other stuff on the jobby job front. And so handled that. And I am eagerly awaiting Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be a day.
Is Tuesday the day that the official news is supposed to drop on the CSP?
Supposedly,
CSR,
yes.
excuse me.
Yep. So supposedly that is D-Day for the CSR and the CSR for business. We shall see what happens.
So Matt, I want you to go on record right now as somebody who is on record, because we are recording.
Yeah.
How accurate do you think the leak is with it going 1x for travel, 4x for plane and hotel? Like, how accurate do you think it is?
60%.
What do you think is most likely to be incorrect? Other than the spend $75,000 get IHG Diamond, or spend $75,000 get $200 off Southwest.
I think all of that is incorrect.
So the credits.
I think those credits at the 75,000 mark are incorrect. I think there is status just for holding the card. I think this noise that has come up in the last day or so, and I don't like putting this in public, but the noise about the 1.5x in the portal going away, I feel like that is not going to happen. I think that's wrong. Because there's no way that this card, that its calling card is the 1.5 in the portal, that they can just get rid of it with the occasional targeted 2x to 2.25x promoted.
So I'm of two minds of this. One, I think credit card YouTube would care. I don't know how much the general public that has this card, not even like the general public, but the general public that has this card uses the portal to begin with, right? Like, we don't know. I don't have that data. So I don't know how much they're going to care. I do think it's a signature feature of the card. I just don't know how common it is. Secondly, I do wonder, so to go back to WWDC, which happened at the beginning of this week, there are leaks with the hardware and there are leaks with software, right? And usually the hardware ones are dead on because there physically has to be units made, right? Like, somebody has to, in the factories, be hitting the buttons to cut out the metal and the different chips and whatever, right? Those tend to be really accurate because so many people have to see it, right? But software, you can change software up right until they put it on the device, and then I'm in the developer beta for all of the iOS, and you can change it after it's on the device, right? Like, those things can be changed. Those are the least likely to be dead on. And I wonder if the multipliers, because the multipliers have to sort of be stock standard because it's changing like the actual database more so than the credits tend to. Mm-hmm. Like, the credits can be changed, I think, easier than multipliers. Right? Because multipliers, every charge hits a multiplier, even if it's 1x, it's still a multiplier, where credits only affect certain things. So I wonder if the multipliers are sort of the hardware leaks and the credits are more the software leaks, where they are more likely to be wrong.
I see where you're going with that. I do think that I'm starting to come around that the 8x in the portal is happening, which is fine. Like, the 4x on hotels and airlines, while that is a bulk of normal people travel, I do wonder. I do wonder if that is a smart idea. And then 3x dining, I don't see why they would take the rest of travel and take it all the way down to 1x. Like, yes, maybe cruises could be a thing, but you're giving people cruises through the portal at 8x now.
Right.
So, like, that math doesn't quite math because, yes, you're going to get your portal surcharge, your portal royalty. So maybe that's kind of that might be the thing. I don't know offhand.
You're getting the portal surcharge, but it's also the portal is more curated, right? Like the portal, you don't have to allow somebody in the portal. So if Chase doesn't have a relationship with something, they don't have to let them in.
That's
right.
true.
And it can be for location. I was looking at hotels in Denver. One Kipton in the Denver area was in Delta Portal, one wasn't. Like I wanted a different hotel than I ended up booking. I ended up at a Hilton because the one that I really wanted for location's sake wasn't in there. So it can be down to hotel, not even specific chain. So it could be interesting that those partnerships are ones that Chase benefits from. So they want the cruises in the portal because it's not any cruise. It is the specific ones that Chase benefits from having.
Right. Sorry, just pulling the comments up on screen. So I think the multipliers, I don't want to see all other travel drop to 1x. Like I'm sort of, privilege isn't the right word, but like I have the Wells
You have
Fargo
the benefit of multiple cards.
Yeah, I have the benefit of multiple cards. I can, like, it wouldn't hurt me as much as it would hurt other people, right? I wonder what the rationale on that would be, because I can't imagine there's somebody putting so much money through parking and ferries that Chase is losing an astronomical amount of money, and it would be amplified with with these changes to the Sapphire Reserve. So I just don't know how that would work.
It's going to be interesting because it seems like they're pretty heavy on wanting things to change, like fundamentally change this card.
Yeah.
And to shout out our Discord, you did a video on this, so it's not a Discord exclusive or anything, but you were talking about like, this is the time you refresh everything because you can't refresh the CSR this majorly and then not also do the CSP. Like even if you're only doing the CSR and the CSP, Chase Sapphire Reserve and Chase Sapphire Preferred, just to be clear, you can't not do anything to the CSP right now, right? Like it would be crazy if you take the 1.5 away from the CSR and you keep the 1.25 on the CSP right now. Like that would be, I would laugh so very hard, but like you can't do that. So I really, really wonder how it's going to work. Like, are they also doing the CSP? They're just not marketing the CSP, and they're going to drop both cards. And maybe here's my thought, right? Maybe some of these changes are actually CSP changes, but
Plausibly.
the way the marketing is coming out, like they're not labeling which is which for whoever is the leaker. Like they're just seeing all of the changes in the Sapphire line. They're assuming because they're more higher end changes, they're going with the CSR. Maybe one or two of them is actually a CSP change that's sort of lumped in because you have to change the CSP.
Yeah. No, they absolutely do have to change the CSP at the same time. Like there's unless they were going to do something, and I've seen nothing in terms of trademarks, I've seen nothing that would give me any sort of indication that there was a third card being introduced into the Sapphire lineup. They have to move the Sapphire Preferred up in some form or fashion.
Unless they bring the no annual fee Sapphire back as the entry and bump that up. Because I just product changed to it. Like it's a zombie card, but it does give you 5x lift and it gives you dash pass. Like they do like they just updated Dash Pass on it. So it's not a completely dead card, right? Like it's not a card that has nothing at all. So maybe they bring the Sapphire, just the no name Sapphire out. You have Sapphire, Sapphire Preferred, Sapphire Reserve.
Yeah, that could they'd have to make that card compelling in some form or fashion because it's like 2x dining, 1x everything else.
Well, yeah, they would have to refresh the
Yeah.
card, but even if they put it at $95, because they seem not to want you to be able to change, though they might offer a $0 annual fee option, but you can't product change from it, right? Like they could put a lock on it to
Yeah.
where you can product change to it, but you can't go back, right? Like Amex, you can go green, gold, platinum, but I can't product change my green card to an everyday preferred, right? Like that is not a
Right.
a thing you can do. They could basically say you can product change within the Sapphire line, but you can't go to Freedom. But we have the $0 card that maybe isn't great, but you can actually go out to partners.
Yeah, that could, as long as it keeps transfer partner, as long as it like gains transfer partners, I could see that working. We do have Spathco asking, do you think it's so much about parking and ferries or them not wanting to bonus spending on other OTAs like Expedia or Rove, Booking, Kayak, etc.? I think there's a world where you could theoretically keep all of the travel in transit and then just carve out OTAs if you want to take that carve out. So maybe that could be a possibility. And yes, I could see them taking out OTAs to negate Expedia and Rove and Booking and push you into the portal, especially if they're going to like keep adding hotel partners to gain loyalty and nights and all of that in their portal.
I think, and we don't have the data on this, right? But if there's a lot of people who are using transit, which is under Chase's one category, with Amex it's split transit and travel.
Yep.
I do wonder, like, are they seeing, more people, are using transit than ever before because everybody's broke, right? So more people are using it. We're getting hammered on transit in a way we didn't expect. Now, do I think that's probably the case? No, but there's some reason that 3x travel, even on a card that's going up to the annual fee that this is going up to, doesn't make sense for them anymore. Now, maybe it's greed, right? Like it very well could just be greed. But it's weird that they're also, but flights and hotels are going to 4x, which you would imagine would be the bulk of, outside of like cruises, most people's travel expense is going to be your flight and your hotel.
Yeah.
Because you can still, like, even on a card like the Knowing Your Fee Sapphire, you still get 5x on Lyft. So it's not like there are no paths to like Ubers and Lyfts and things, right? Like there's still ways to get there.
Yeah. And there's still like that Lyft multiplier. It wasn't mentioned. It hasn't been mentioned in the rumors. One of the things that has always struck me has been Instacart came back either at the beginning of May or at the beginning of June. Instacart came back on all of the co-branded cards, and the Ink Cash and the Ink Unlimited. Suspiciously absent from that announcement were the Sapphire cards, the Freedom cards, and the Ink Preferred, which would lead me to believe that there's the Sapphire Reserve and the Sapphire Reserve Business will get an Instacart credit of some kind. The Ink, the Sapphire Preferred and the Ink Preferred will get some sort of Instacart credit, and then the Freedoms could also get some changes to them with an Instacart credit as well.
Yeah. The size of this change doesn't feel like one card is changing. It feels like the way. So here's a difference with issuers, right? Like if Amex were to fundamentally change the platinum, you would not expect the gold or the green necessarily to change. The green might be more likely to change than the gold, right? Because the gold is I don't care how they market it. The gold is a food card. It's dining, it's restaurant, or it's dining, it's supermarkets. Like that's its main superpower. Yes, you can get a little bit more in the portal. but most people don't know or care, right? Like the platinum is unto itself. The gold is unto itself. When they changed the gold, they didn't have to change the green or the platinum. With the green, if they change that, they don't necessarily have to change the other cards, right? With Chase, everything is so interconnected, especially with the one sapphire rule, that you have to adjust things in a way you don't necessarily have to adjust them elsewhere. Or with other issues. If Wells Fargo change it when they introduced the Attune, they didn't suddenly change the autograph cards, right? Like they didn't suddenly say we're going to do X, Y, and Z because it's a complementary card. It's not the house of cards that Chase has sort of put together. So Chase is one of the more connected companies in terms of how their cards feed into each other, but they also have the most, it feels like, overlapping, like straight overlapping. Everything is the same multiplier categories. Just look at the two Freedom cards. Like, yeah, you get 5x on the Freedom Flex, but every other category is what basically identical to the Freedom Unlimited, except for the 1.5.
Yep.
So it becomes this thing where Chase has so much overlap that you would expect if they're going to change the top end this much, they change everything. But I don't know if that's going to happen, but I don't know how it doesn't happen with how they have things constructed.
Yeah, right now my bet is 4 cards get updated for sure. I could see as many as 6.
Do you think they get updated, like they launch and they're like, here's all of our changes, or do you think this is going to drip out over the summer of 25?
I think the sapphires, and the corresponding business cards will probably be done all at once, and then there'll be a later Freedom update. Let's jump over to the comments real quick. We got Keith joining us. He says the current CSR is so simple, easy to use. I hate that they're changing it and making it more complicated. Again, we'll know for certain on Tuesday how easy or hard it's going to be. Right now, the rumors look really rough, but the rumors could be all over the place because we could have Sapphire for Business portions on the Sapphire Reserve that were like leaked as part of the Sapphire Reserve. So we just have to wait for the full announcement. John R. joining us. He says it is odd that nothing has really been mentioned about the Sapphire Preferred. That's why I recently talked about it. Yeah, I think there's definitely room to consider that there's going to be something happening with the Sapphire Preferred. I got Vincent Pascal joining us. Points with Philip joining us. How's it going, everybody? Kirby G, might just be the habit of taking away day-to-day multipliers on the high-end cards.
Maybe.
Definitely a possibility. Points of Philip tells you all to hit the like button. Definitely do that. Please join us in that. Rodrigo Mendez says the CSR 3X on travel combo with the awesome primary insurance made it my favorite card for rental cars. I think it's still going to be a strong card for rental cars. It's just you're going to have to do the rental through the portal, but you'll still probably have primary insurance. Again, we have to see if the 3X travel, like what happens with 3X travel on the other side of this.
It's also like I just did a rental. I've been using the Delta portal a little more because I'm trying to work on a few things. And once I got the confirmation email of it, I was able to add the enterprise rental to my enterprise app, right? Like I'm not getting enterprise points. Actually, enterprise I might, but anyway, I'm not, it wasn't booked through enterprise, but I can add it, right? Like I can add my Hilton hotel and my Marriott hotel that I have coming up to those apps, right? Like that is helpful that it is all conglomerated. I almost wonder if Chase is going to make something in their app or a separate app if they're going super portal heavy, or maybe this is me hoping they do or hoping Amex does, of like, here's all of your bookings, right? Like here is your next 5 bookings and it's the various hotels that you're staying. Because if you turn the portal into something real, like you need that. Like if you have Experian, everything I book, I can go through my list of all the bookings and I can get the basic information. Right now, like if you don't know to add it to your Hilton or your Marriott or whatever, you're not going to ever see it. You can't get the digital keys. You can't get this other information. So I wonder, as the companies go more portal heavy, if they're actually going to make something even in their app, like if Amex added it to their app or Chase or Wells Fargo or whoever added it to their app, to be able to see those bookings, to make it a little bit easier for people to track things.
Yeah, right now, like the Chase app for banking is good. The Chase app, like going in and trying to do shop through Chase and do the portal is garbage. I would actually love to see Chase break those two elements into separate apps, because now Chase is doing the shops, which is a stupid thing, and shop through Chase for like those extra points when you go shopping. That should be an app separate from the banking app, and the travel portal should be an app separate from the banking app.
And I will shout out Capital One for a moment and just say, like, they do have a separate Capital One shopping app. And when I had a Capital One card, I would use it, right? Like that was an app that I would use to be able to shop through it, because it was easier than having to go online. Like I didn't always have to go online. So it would be nice, like if these banking companies want to do more, if they want to get into portals, if they want to do more things, like they can't just have like go to Amex.com and access things, but you get logged out after 15 seconds. Like they
Yeah.
need to join us in 2025. I never really had trouble. I did a fair bit of Cap One apps or Cap One offers, and I didn't have a problem with it. But all of the problem with all of these is they rely on trackers. Because they rely on trackers, depending on your web browser and your settings, like they can't track you. If they can't track you, they can't give you your points.
Yeah. Rodrigo followed up with, I haven't been a fan of booking car rentals through the Chase portal at the moment. At least in the past, when I've searched, the prices were way inflated past the 10x earning. Yeah, that is the trade-off. But we just have to see what ends up happening with the official announcement. John mentioning that he could see the dismay on your face complimenting Capital One.
We will have a viewer question that was a comment to one of our videos about Capital One this week. I've already put it in the doc.
Sweet. I have to update the doc. Yeah, the Rakuten browser extension's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start putting those through Rove. So yeah, we'll have to see what ends up happening with the Sapphire Reserve. I'm going to do at least before Tuesday. I will have at least one more speculation station, kind of with like my final thoughts on what will happen.
Do you and Lonnie have the Tuesday, oh my God, this is actually happening live already booked?
Live, no. Recording, yes. And I'll probably be going live with Joe Barretto in the morning. This Thursday live will be very fun. Matt and I have a very fun game. We're gonna play in a little bit. Next Thursday, I might see if there's a little PTO I can take, so I can like take a nap before the live, just so I'm like ready for it, because it's gonna be something. Because either you're gonna be losing your mind, or you're gonna be so happy because everything was wrong and they made the card better that you're gonna be insufferable. There is no middle. There is no world where there is a middle. You're either going to be indescribably, insufferably happy, or you're going to be so angry that your head is going to fly off. And either way, I'm down for it. John, put together a drinking game and DM me, please. I would love to post that. I don't know how insufferable.
If they make the card great, if they make the card everything you want the Wells Fargo Beyond to be, but just wrapped in Chase, right? Like if they make it an excellent card, an actual competitor to the Platinum, you will be insufferable. You just will be.
Probably.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they make it great, you're going to be, but I would be, when they update the Platinum, if it becomes like even better, like if they put 2x everything on it or whatever, I will be insufferable. Like that's the nature of whatever. Like it's part of the fun.
Rodrigo, I think Matt should go live at 11:59 p.m. on Monday and keep refreshing the Chase CSR page. I would love to. However, at 11:59 p.m. on Monday, we will be recording Stack Your Points.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if it drops during our recording? Because it actually might.
To be fair, To be fair to Chase, I would imagine that this sort of thing would be dropping at 3 a.m. Not
Okay, but you and I sometimes are post-recording still talking at 3
at
a.m.
3 a.m.
So
Yes, I
I
know.
think you and I have to. You and I are gonna stay. Man, I'm telling you now. I'm sorry. I'm telling you now. We're staying up till 3 a.m. And if it drops, we're going to go live. I'm warning you now.
All right,
Okay.
I've got the capability. We've
You
got
do.
Mike Newland joining us. Kid Cat. Craig is joining us from London. It's 2 a.m. but in London, but had to pop in and say hi.
Craig will be on the Monday episode of Stack Your Points.
Yes, and I will not be wearing either of my Cubs hats because Craig gets offended.
There will be 3 Sapphire Reserve and 1 Sapphire holder on that podcast.
There will be. And Craig, I'll tell you right now, I will wear White Sox hats during recording if you send me one. It's got to be a flex fit. Spathco says to mind the gap. Yes, always mind the cap. And Jordan Rules of Credit chimes in with, if we get Built 2.0 and CSR refresh on the same day, Matt's head might explode. Yes, not might, would.
Are you taking Tuesday off from work?
I have all next week off.
Okay. So, like, you prepared for this, or was it just a happy coincidence?
This is a happy coincidence. I take 2 full weeks off every year for work. I take the week of my daughter's birthday and I take the week of my birthday off.
Is this your birthday week?
Yes.
Oh, Chase is about to give you a birthday present, Matt. We don't know if you've been a good boy or not this year.
We gonna find out the hard way.
I do love that the Pope like is game to just wear random hats. I know they're not random, they're his college and they're the baseball team from his hometown, but still seeing the pontiff of the Roman Catholic Church in a White Sox hat is very funny.
He was wearing one today, I think.
I
Or
know.
he was pictured in one recently.
Yeah.
I don't know about Gad's team, but that's fine. Thank you, John. Points to Philip. I might have to take Tuesday off too. Yep. And Craig follows up with Sox hat and Malort is loading. Everybody speaks so terribly of Malort. It's just Midwestern absinthe.
I think you need to have the Malort ready. Kid, if you're awake at 3 a.m. on podcast night and you want to stay up with Matt and I, you are more than welcome. Depends on how long we talk that night. We might still just about be done with the recording because we've ended at 2:45 before.
Yes, we have. We've got Rupert Pond joining us saying, anxious to see the CSR news. From the rumors, it seems like they're running to give away market share. It's a really weird place right now because you've got the Platinum, right? And you've got all of the American Express like premium cards. Then you've got the Sapphire Reserve, but then like Capital One isn't filling in the gap, and Citi and Wells are still on the sidelines. So like, who are they giving up market share to? Like, are they really going to? Are more people going to get rid of the Sapphire Reserve and go to the Platinum than already is?
Yeah.
Than they already have. That was terrible grammar.
Here's the thing. I love the Platinum. It works for me, right? Like, I have the card because it works for me. I don't have the card just to have it, right? If I had the CSR as it is currently, and that goes up to $7.95 or $7.99 or $7.99.99, whatever it's going to, right? The Platinum, even though it's a little bit cheaper, doesn't actually solve anything, right? Like, if I want, like, to Craig, like, he wants the lounge in Philly that is a Chase lounge. Like, the Platinum doesn't help him. Like, yes, there's a lounge there he could go to, but the Platinum doesn't help him for the lounge he wants to be in, which means that getting the Platinum doesn't fix that, right? Like, if that's why I have the Platinum or whatever, or, whatever. So I do think that it's something like, the problem with the CSR is if that is the best card for you and you don't want to change everything else, you're kind of stuck. If the Platinum's the best card for you, you actually could go to the Delta Reserve, assuming your airline is Delta. You could go to the United, what is it? The United Club, United Infinite, whatever the top United card is. But it's still not going to fix ultimately the problem, right? So if you're in Chase heavy enough to have the CSR, if you're in Amex heavy enough to have the Platinum, you're kind of already committed to your side, right? Like it's Cubs versus White Sox. Like your line has already been drawn. You can switch, but it takes a pound of flesh and you got to learn a whole new set of behaviors.
Yeah, you're if you've got the Sapphire Reserve or the Platinum, you're pretty pot committed at that point. And you have to do a whole new buy-in.
We're in a international travel recession, Keith. I don't know from the stats I've seen, I don't actually know if we're in a domestic travel recession the way people projected. I know internationally has gone way down, but domestically hasn't really changed.
There's still lines at airports.
Yeah. So I think internationally, right? Like if international travel is your focus, it is not mine. So that's I keep up with enough for the podcast, but it's not my passion. I think that it's something that domestically it hasn't really changed. Like there's still the same flights. There are still like they're not cutting flights. They're not desperately cutting everything because domestically things haven't changed. People just don't want to go through customs. And we're about to hit the Club World Cup, which is going to be an interesting experiment.
Also got a $5 super chat from John. Just want to acknowledge that. Thank you, John, for the super chat, and thank you for the early birthday wishes. MR mentions he's been a Chicago resident for 22 years. Malort's an acquired taste. Source King mentioning, I would love to get the CSR, but my 924 status and severe sign-up bonus addiction, it won't let me. You may want to try the Sapphire Reserve business card. I'm certain as a new card, they may bend 524 for that one.
Maybe see. I'll apply for the business card. Just go like I beat Chase once at 1 and 2. Maybe 13 to 24 will still work.
I mean that 13th card hasn't reported yet. MR, I'm curious about all the planes falling out of the sky anomalies and how that's quantifiably changing things.
It hasn't. That's the thing. It hasn't. Like I talk to my friends who like aren't like in this community, and like none of their summer plans have changed, right? Like anybody who is going to go on a week-long vacation with their family, doing flying or whatever, that hasn't changed for them. Like a couple of people have been like, I don't want to go through Newark, but that's about as far as it goes. People aren't really changing that. Like I expected more changes to happen, and we are seeing it internationally. We're just not seeing it domestically in the way that I expected. MR, nobody wants to go to Newark. Very few people want to go to the state of New Jersey. As a New Yorker, I'm an upstate New Yorker. I don't have strong southward ties to New Jersey. I still don't want to go to New Jersey. So there's that. New Jersey, lovely place. There was a Veterans Own barbecue place that is absolutely delicious in New Jersey. I think it's called Red, White, and Q. Some great soccer. Man, it's Jersey. What can I say? But yeah, I do think that the travel recession hasn't hit the way we thought it was going to. And I think people just overblew it because it hit the international side, which is the more glamorous side of travel.
Yeah. As long as Alaska is, yeah.
I'm on the wrong side of the country for that.
Yeah. But the 4.5K is really nice.
It is.
Nobody wants to go to Newark. Newark is just a thing that happens.
Yeah. I mean, I would love Chase to hire Matt, but the problem is they'd probably say you can't do a podcast on credit cards, and that would really put a cramp in my plans for the week.
That, while fair, I'm certain that the podcast could survive without me if I was making six figures and making the Sapphire Reserve a worthwhile card. No, the Sapphire Reserve is
only if you were bankrolling the podcast at the same time.
We totally do that.
Yeah, that is a problem.
So you have to fly AA. Hey, AA will probably just throw you off the plane if you're a blogger.
Yeah. That was
That was spiffy.
I will say, so I had a meeting at work today. Before the meeting, you know how they have the icebreaker questions? Our icebreaker question was basically like, how do you use AI outside of work? Like just trying to get, because every industry right now is big push on AI. And I was like, I use it to like break down rewards programs and run like cost benefit analysis on cards, just because I wanted to put something different. And it was also fantasy football pre-drafts. But that one, the amount of people when I sort of unlocked in their brain that you can like do credit card reward redemptions for travel, like these are people who make 3 to 4 times more than I do in this meeting going, "Oh my god, I'm going to have to do a one-on-one with you. How do you do this?" Like it's shocking how like people who could afford like, and these are people who do company travel, like they could, and no recollection of any of this. So it's always fun when you have an icebreaker like that, and then you become the person known for the thing when it comes to credit cards, and you're like, I don't know if I want to meet with the vice president of my division on credit cards, but if you wanna do it, I'm game. Fall and winter are when we're going to see if it actually has changed.
Yeah. So we did mention we have a game to play. How about we jump into the game, and then we can come back to some of these.
We'll trash talk Chase while we're doing it. It's okay. The CFR will be mentioned at least once. I guarantee you this game requires it.
It's true.
Would you like to intro the game, Matt, or would you like me to?
So I will intro the game, but I would like you to explain the concept. So the name of the game is the Wallet Discard Game.
Yes.
And for reference, here are the stack of credit cards I'm playing with.
I did not realize Matt was actually going to bring out his actual credit card, so I do not have mine. They're scattered in several locations in my home. So I'm going to hold up my hand, and you're going to imagine the credit card there with the design. Like there's been several designs of several of these cards, so just picture the design you like the best.
Yes. So that is top level of the game. How does this game work, RJ?
So what Matt and I are going to do is we're going to go round by round. And we are going to discard a credit card. The one we either can see ourselves living without the easiest, or just why is this in my wallet in the first place? We're not thinking about necessarily annual fees. It's more multipliers and perks, basically. Annual fees can be part of it, but it's not like, oh, I wasn't going to renew that card anyway. Like we're sort of pretending that all of our cards we are renewing, right? Though my first round, everybody knows my answer, but we'll get to that in a moment. But we're going round by round until we each have one card left. And at that point, we sort of realize which is more important, because here's the thing, like Matt and I both have a general idea of what we're going with. That can change. Like as Matt discards things, it might jog something in my mind. As I discard things, it might jog something in Matt's. Comments from the chat may come up. But yeah, we sort of gave each other our list of cards that we have. Every card in our list is cards that we currently hold. The only card I do not have on my list is my business gold, because at 12:01 tomorrow, that card is going to be canceled. So I did not include that in my list because we already know that I'm getting rid of it. So it also makes an even number of cards between Matt and I, which makes this helpful. So Matt, what is the first card that's leaving your wallet?
This will pain you, and I'm sorry that it's going to pain you. At the moment, I have no particular use for this card. It is my Apple Card.
Oh, man. That does hurt me.
I know. I love the Apple Card for the ability to get 3% cash back at Apple. I love the 0% loans that you get on Apple products. I am currently not servicing any loans. I do not have any products that I am going out of my way to get right now. There are certainly Apple products I would love to add to my collection. A new iPad Pro, perhaps, or a 15-inch MacBook Air would be amazing. But those are wants, not needs. So if I'm not financing them right now, there is no space right now in my wallet for my Apple Card.
You will hear me say Apple Card, everybody, because I also hold this card. It will be much later in my wallet, because I have 6 things right now on thing. Not everything is for me. I am very nice, and I also upgrade my parents from time to time. So actually, like 2/3 of the things on there are things that I got for them. Because with Apple, like it actually is in the long run just easier to finance. They're happy, I'm happy, and my card limit doesn't get slashed. Everybody wins.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I understand for you, and because you have so many 0 APR cards, it makes sense. I love that with the Apple Card, every time I use it with Apple, it is a 0 APR card. Like it gets that every time.
Yeah. Every time I want to go and buy an Apple product or finance a new one or upgrade one, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing that, I need the card.
Right.
But at this particular moment, it is the one I could get rid of the easiest right now.
I will say there have been rumors about where the Apple Card will end up. I don't care where it ends up as long as that doesn't change. Like as long as the app doesn't fundamentally change, and as long as the 0 APR on all Apple purchases for their, I think it's 6, 12, and 18 months. As long as that doesn't change, or 6 and 12 maybe now. I think the Mac Pro you could get 18 months on, because that machine was expensive.
Do 24.
It might be 24. I know there were, it's 24 on phones. That's what it is. But 6, 12, and 24 months. Like as long as that doesn't change and the app doesn't fundamentally change, I don't care who issues the card. Because Apple has certain standards for whoever they partner with. So that shouldn't change too much. But I understand it for you. For me, my first round is not a surprise to anybody. It is the business green. It is the American Express business green. I got it purely for the sub. I was not at all shy about why I got this card. There are no actual multipliers unless you use the Amex portal. And my Amex portal won't let me switch to the business green from the platinum. Like every time I switch to it, just to like see if like pricing is different or anything, it switches me back. It's like, no, you don't actually want to use this card. You want to use your platinum. So I have no use for this card. I hit the sign up bonus, and it has literally just gone in a sock drawer. It's sitting actually right next to Keith's Synchrony card. So yeah, no, first round, easy. The American Express business green. What is your second round, Matt?
Yeah, so this one's also going to surprise you, or may pain you as well. I've never used it, but it's so pretty.
The green is a lovely shade of green on the personal and the business. It is lovely.
So the next one for me is the American Express Blue Business Plus.
Oh, that one does hurt a little bit.
I know. It's a strong earning card. It's very much doing a very particular job in my wallet. It's one of those 0% cards you mentioned. I got it for the welcome offer that was unexpectedly a bit targeted and elevated for me. Right now, after I pay it off, I don't have a place for it because I don't have any other membership reward earning cards. I have an easy place to park my membership reward points for double the number of points that I have. I would much rather play in that co-brand ecosystem than necessarily MR points right now, as the only MR card is the easiest Amex card. Is the easiest of my Amex cards I could get rid of.
Keith, the personal green is great if you don't have a bunch of co-brands or you're a free agent. Like that is what that card is perfect for. That card is not meant for you. Anyway, my next round is the Choice Privileges Select card. It is a great card. It is a truly great card. Because Hilton and IHG give me so much coverage as my primary and secondary, I just haven't used it. Like I stayed at one because I was doing sort of an IHG Hilton Choice comparison. just more for testing out. I used it then. I haven't used it since. I have a hundred and something thousand points that I will eventually find a use for. But yeah, I don't use it. It's a great card. If you're somebody who is into choice, if you do a lot of road trips, this card is legitimately a very, very good card. It made more sense before I got into IHG. So for me, that is the problem, is IHG 8 choices lunch, because they have more of the mid and top end options. So yeah, no, you're going to get your Amex is always going to try to move you up the ladder.
Yeah.
That is always a thing that they're going to do. So yeah, choice privilege is select. Number 2, gone. Number 3, Matt.
Would be the Chase Freedom Unlimited. This actually, I've not gotten a Chase Freedom Unlimited welcome offer. That began life for me as a Chase Slate Edge card. I like the Slate Edge, but I was done with that, so I moved it up to the Freedom Unlimited. The Freedom Unlimited dining, the only category that really drives value for me for Chase spending would be, and I have another 1.5 card, would be the drugstore and pharmacy. I have dining covered with Chase UR elsewhere. I have Portal very much covered elsewhere. 1.5 is great, but you can get 1.5 on other cards. And the only thing really driving things for me right now is the 3X on drugstores. Now, I could get rid of that card, reapply for it, and get a welcome offer on it, which would be nice. Start that 24-month clock. But right now, that of the cards, that is the next easiest I can get rid of.
Yeah. No, totally makes sense. My next card, funny enough, started its life as a Chase Freedom Unlimited, and then I product changed it to the no annual fee Sapphire. So my no annual fee Sapphire is third out the door. It's there because I don't want to move the limit over and have to call in, because I would. So Chase just introduced being able to adjust your limits online. I finally got that feature added to my account. The Sapphire, you have to keep 5,000 on. The Chase Unlimited would let you move everything, or the Freedom Unlimited would let you move everything over except for 500. Okay. The Sapphire, they're like, no, got to keep 5,000 on it, which is fine. I have 5,000 on it. I will probably only use it if I ever take a left. So yeah, so that, I have it because I want a Visa. That is the only reason. If the Apple Card becomes a Visa, the Sapphire is gone. Because the only reason I still have that card is to have a single Visa, because apparently I collect MasterCards like they're Infinity Stones. I don't know why. After Amex, it's MasterCard and then one Visa.
Just be careful, because if you snap your fingers the wrong way, you could snap half of your Amexes out of existence.
That would hurt. Answer Rodrigo's question for a mini pause.
Sure. Rodrigo asks, why is Matt suspicious about the 1.5x portal redemptions going away? Because it doesn't make sense for Chase to do that. Sorry, I just read Amar's comment. The calling card of the Sapphire Reserve, the big draw in of that card is the 1.5x in the portal. Replacing that with a occasional 2x or targeted 2.25 and everything else is 1 does not serve the purpose of the card. What I think is potentially being, what I think the 2.25 is, I've seen the 2.25 in the portal. Yes, I've seen that is that is a real thing. So I do think that that's going to be there. I just think that that's going to be promotional to highlight specific properties. Like, these are going to be like all-inclusive type properties to like really drive home, like, hey, this is why you're spending so much. This is why you're building these UR pools to go here, and we're going to make it even better for you. Wow, Mike. Sorry, Mike just dropped 20 memberships for my channel. So thank you so much for that, Mike. So I can't see a reason for Chase to get rid of for them to fully get rid of the 1.5x across the board, because then you also have to get rid of the 1.25 on the Sapphire Preferred, and you don't have an immediate way of like supplementing that.
Yeah.
So I'm wary of it. Could they do it? Yes. Do I think that it would be a major mistake? Yes. Did I convince another creator to create their own members only video to highlight that it would be a huge mistake and it would drive them to potentially leave the Sapphire Reserve? Also, yes.
Yeah. No, I don't know how they don't get rid of it though. With everything else, I don't know how they don't get rid of it, but I hope they don't for your and Lonnie's sake, though it would make great content. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So that's why I'm suspicious of it. I just don't see where it makes sense. MR, I'm detecting a new segment. If my credit cards were Infinity Stones.
Matt, round number 4, friend.
Absolutely. 1 second. Thank you again, Mike, for that. Round number 4, I was just talking about how I have another 1.5 card for Chase. I do, but it's the next card that I'm getting rid of. That would be the Chase Ink Business Unlimited. It's a one-trick pony. I very much like that one trick. I like the welcome offer when it comes around. I will easily discard this card and go get another welcome offer if I'm able to. After the welcome offer, the Ink Unlimited sure is nice, but like in my wallet, I would more want the Freedom Unlimited than the Ink Unlimited if all I cared about was the 1.5.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. And Mike, that was an extremely nice birthday present for Matt. I appreciate I appreciate you, even though Matt has already appreciated you. That was very nice.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Seabass.
My answer to one of the questions that will be on tomorrow's mailbag goes to something that just happened, which I appreciate. So yeah, my next card is the first Amex that I actually kind of sometimes use, the Business Platinum. It is a good card, but I have the Personal Platinum, and the Personal Platinum for me fits better into my life with the credits and with everything else. I do like that if you have the business checking account and the Business Platinum, you can redeem for 1 cent per point. That is nice. I tend not to do redemptions, so for me, it is not a huge thing. If I was in a position and, needed to, would it suck that I couldn't? Yes. But I also have my entire structure around not doing that. So it's not something historically I've ever done anyway, to where it's been a thing. It does have 35% points come back to you if you book through the portal. Not something I do for airlines, that I go straight to Delta. So for me, it is a good card. It is an excellent card for some people. But if I'm getting rid of cards in my wallet, it is the next to go. That's
fair.
Yes, MR. I have so many Sky Club visits that I can do. I have enough guest passes. I sometimes struggle to do the airline fee because I just have the guest passes. So trust me, I find creative ways. Sometimes I'll book a flight and then be like, oh, I need to change this. Oh, I have the incidental airline credit. It'll be under $200. I'm all set.
There you go. All right. So I guess it's back to me.
It is.
All right. This is the first one where it's going to actually kind of hurt. And also where I turn left yet again. But the next card up is the Wells Fargo Attune.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not an Amazon fan, Matt?
Oh, I spend far too much money at Amazon. Far too much money. No, I love Amazon. I love getting the 4x back at Amazon. I love pooling my cash back over to the Autograph. In terms of my Wells Fargo setup, like if there was of my Wells Fargo cards, it's probably one of the first to go. It's largely superfluous. Like, Amazon's great, sporting events is great, everything else I can get 4x back on, great, but those are wants, not needs. And if I'm getting rid of a card, it's because I can justify getting rid of it because it is fulfilling wants and not necessarily fulfilling needs. So the Attune would be the first of those cards to go, and some others are going to be in pretty quick succession as well.
Yeah, no, I get it. It is one of the prettiest cards, though. I will say it is distinct. Oh, yeah. It is a beautiful card. This one hurts. This is a newer card to my collection. This one hurts. It is the Hilton Honor Surpass, because I have total 4 ways of getting Hilton Gold.
Yeah.
This is way 3. I also have the Hilton Business, because I have the Hilton Business, which has higher for the standard, just 5x everything up to $100,000, which is not a problem for me. This card is great. Like, it gets 6x on a bunch of categories. It's great. I use it when I'm not doing a sub. This card gets used fairly often, but unfortunately, in a case like this, I have other ways to get more points on everything more consistently, and I have extra ways to get Hilton Gold. Hilton Gold is definitely worth it, though. So I will try to keep a way to do Hilton Gold. But yeah, Hilton Honor Surpass, unfortunately, is a casualty in this war. If it was the Aspire, we would be talking a different story. But for the Surpass, it's going now.
Yeah. Keith, I didn't even consider the X1 because 1, I forgot it's still active. 2, it would be canceled anyway.
I agree, Filmo.
Yes. What should then you get if you have like 4 paths to Marriott Gold? What should you then be gifted instead?
Being spit on?
Yeah, there's that. There, yeah.
Matt, what is your next card?
Next one, back in the Wells Fargo stash, it would be the Wells Fargo Active Cash. 2x everything again. I have another 2x everything Wells Fargo card. I have duplicates of lots of cards. It's a slightly annoying, but it would be closing one of my oldest credit lines. But if I've got 2x everything everywhere else, it's it's the one that doesn't survive.
No, it makes sense. It's not. It's a good. The thing with 2x cards is there are so many 2x cards. It's like pick your ecosystem, and there's some form of a 2x option. Might be Amex, like it's a business, but yeah. Well, there is technically a 2x option with Chase.
Nobody is paying $195 for a 2x card that doesn't even convert the ultimate rewards that it produces onto the other card.
I didn't say it was a good option. I said it was technically an option.
That's fair.
What's a better catch-all than the Hilton Business card? That's a really good question, because you have to get a transfer bonus for the Blue Business Plus to get more than 5x Hilton. So if you're a Hilton loyalist, I don't know if there is a better card. No. I don't. I love that card. I didn't think that Amex was going to give me a 5th credit card, which is why I did the Surpass. And then I was like, let me just see if they'll do it. They're going to reject me. And then I was sitting in Florida in a hospital room, and they're like, yep, here you go. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe I just need to go to Florida every time I want to apply for a new credit card. Not my current strategy, by the way. So I don't want to do this because I just got it and I really like it. But strategy-wise, the next card is the IHG Premier. Like, it is my backup hotel. I love IHG, but I have Ambassador, so I have Platinum through the Intercontinental Ambassador. So I have my status already. I get the points from the status, even if I don't have the credit card to add the 10x. So I still am getting something, right? Like, I'm still getting a decent return. So it's gonna be the IHG Premier, even though that hurts because that's the card I'm using for everything right now. That one kind of hurt. That we're starting to get into the pain territory, man. I didn't think this was going to be this painful.
A little bit. Yep.
Oh.
We got Josh Giebel joining us. Thanks for joining, Josh. Yeah, no. Once the front half is easy, the back half is where
Yeah.
it starts getting hard.
Yeah, this is starting to get hard. What is your next card, Matt?
Next one, JetBlue Business. I enjoy the JetBlue Business card for its perks. If I'm at this point in getting rid of things, again, want, need, is the best way I can justify it. Group A boarding, fantastic. Free check bags for myself and every other member of my party, great. That card has a particularly low limit. Outside of JetBlue purchases, it does not have particularly strong point earning capability. It's only 2x at office supply stores and 2x dining, which I could use JetBlue TrueBlue dining to become 5x, but that means I have to eat at the same restaurant all the time. Yeah. And no. So in terms of the cards, that is a perks card. And it's a better perks card than the Premier by miles, but I can easily get rid of the perks card if necessary.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's a good card though. It is better than the high end card by several football fields.
It's purple on the back.
I have several cards that are purple. Not my next card, though. My next card is blue. It is, in fact, the Blue Business Plus. I love that card. It is a very good card. It does exactly what it says in the label, right? It's 2x everything up to 50,000. Again, not a problem for me. For catch-all, spend. It's a great card. It is great, but I'll explain next round why it's going here and not the next round. Delta gonna Delta. But yeah, the Blue Business Plus is a great card. But unfortunately, it's gotta go.
Nope, that's fair. That is fair. So my next one, I mentioned that I had other 2x or 2% Wells Fargo cards. It would be my Signify next. It's gotten beat up after a year. Again, 2% is great when you can get it. It's great that it can pool, but at this point in the wallet, there's one other Wells Fargo card I prioritize above all my other Wells Fargo cards, and the Signify is just not it. Now, what would keep either the Signify or the Active Cash in my wallet longer would just be being the ultimate 2% card, in that I could use it 2% everywhere and it lifted foreign transaction fees.
Yeah, that would be very nice for you.
Yeah.
And Josh, yes, more cards that are not blue. I know you said we need more blue cards, but I am contradicting you by saying we need more cards that are not blue. Though apparently the new CSR has a touch of gold in the corner for reasons. All right, these are our the last 5 cards, which is really hard. I am Delta Business Reserve. Here's the problem with the Delta Business Reserve and the Delta Reserve is for me, because of MQDs, they're a package deal. The reason that the business has survived as long as it has is because it's a package deal with the reserve. It just is, right? So for me, at this point, if I'm down to this many cards, I have to give up automatic Delta Silver and just find it myself, right? Find the spend myself to get it. But for this round, Delta Business Reserve is gone. And then, spoiler alert, there's going to be a sequel my next round.
Boy, I wonder what card that is.
Matt, what is your next card?
Next one up, going back to Chase, and I would be losing the business cash. I would be keeping the business cash, prioritizing. If I've given up the Ink Unlimited and I've given up the Freedom Unlimited, I would be utilizing the business cash for using means that are useful to me by way of office supply stores,
Yeah.
just to maximize my spend as best I can. If only Staples sold Dollar General gift cards, that would be great. Otherwise,
Mine does.
really,
In store, not online.
I am going to be sojourning north at some point. But neither here nor there. That is a way that I can keep building UR points and giving up the Freedom Unlimited and the Ink Unlimited. And down in the last 4, like it goes far in my wallet, but it would be one of the last cards that I'd give up.
Yeah. Spathco, yes, it does have the bigger Delta Stays credit. I usually forget about the credit until I'm either just having booked or about to book, and I'm like, oh, have I used that credit yet? So yes, I do use the credits. I just don't always remember the credits are there. My next card is the Delta Reserve, right? Like they were going as a pair. It didn't really matter like which order. They're a pair. I could have put them together. If Matt had one less credit card, I would have just put them as a pair because that's how I see them. They are because they give me silver with 2. Though I'm really interested to see in 5 years if the Platinum and the Reserve give you the same amount of MQDs, but that's a separate conversation.
I can't imagine they will, but we'll see.
I'd like the Reserve to give 5,000 and the Platinum to give 2,500, but I don't think that's the direction we're going.
Are you willing to pay $1,150 per year for that card?
I would pay $1,000 for automatic silver because I already pay 1,300 for. I mean, I don't pay it just for that, but still. But yeah, Delta Reserve. It's a great card. It is truly a great card for what I use it for. The companion pass, I'm always going to get value on that. If I use it, I can't find a flight that I would fly that is under the annual fee of the Delta Reserve. So that is very, very helpful. But yeah, we're up to the top 3, Matt. Now, in theory, this would be our wallet, right? Like I am willing to give us each 3 cards, but we're still going to play the game the way we have been to get to a final card. But in my head, these are sort of the 3 cards that we would rock on with. So Matt, what is your bronze medal card?
Bronze medal card, back to American Express. It is the Hilton Honors card. All the Hilton cards are pretty decent jack of all trades as long as you like Hilton.
That is a requirement if you get a Hilton card.
Yes. Not liking Hilton and getting a Hilton card are anathema. Multipliers on the card are okay. They're not better than the cousins. Like in no way would I say the Hilton Honors is better than the Surpass, the Business, or the Aspire. But if you are just getting started, and I was just getting started in Hilton, I didn't know how deep down the rabbit hole I wanted to go. The Honors is the best way to sample Hilton, because you don't get you get water and Wi-Fi status. All you get is Hilton Silver, but you're getting Hilton Silver at no annual fee. You can buy gold relatively cheaply. You can buy platinum, diamond, moderate. It's a little chunk of change, but it's not exorbitant yet. So you can do really well. It is the
cheapest of the Amex premium cards.
Yes. So, gas, grocery, dining covers all that. 3x on everything else. Now, the value of your Hilton points are going to be what they are, but it also guarantees 5th night free. Makes things a lot easier, and you can get, what is it, like 15 points per dollar at Hilton when you pay cash?
Something like that.
Yeah. And my status was recognized after I purchased a hotel through Rove. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm staying at a Marriott and a Hilton this year that I booked through Portal. So I'm interested to see if either one of them recognize status. Just interesting. All right. My number 3. This one hurts. This one really hurts me. The Apple card.
Oh, there's your Apple card.
The Apple card. This is the only cashback card that I actually truly love. And I don't love it because it's a cashback card. I love it because I buy an inordinate amount of Apple things. The only reason I do not have a Vision Pro, the singular reason I do not have a Vision Pro is because my eyeglasses prescription is not
So rough.
supported.
Yeah.
This is literally the only reason. Like I would make it like it'd be a great sign up bonus. What'd you do to get your sign up bonus? I bought a Vision Pro. I would absolutely have one at this point. Unfortunately, because of my eyeglass prescription, I can't have a Vision Pro, but I do have the Apple Card. And if we're playing with 3 cards for the wallet, this would still be there. But if we're just to finish the game, this would be gone. Like it would hurt. But Apple does have for the phones the upgrade program, which also gives you 0 APR. I change over phones more than I change over laptops.
Mhm.
So that would, that would be what it would. But yeah, the Apple Card for me, because of my spending habits when it comes to technology, as I sit in front of a spec'd out M3 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro that runs my setup and is the reason that this podcast happens, because we record directly to my setup. And it's where 85% of the editing happens over the course of the podcast. That is what that machine is for. So Stack Your Points runs on Mac, apparently. I think even Lonnie has a Mac, and so does Tree. Craig, do you have a Mac? Because we might have secretly been a Mac forward podcast.
Craig, if you're still awake.
Yeah, he's probably not. But anyway, and then I have a M4 Air. So yeah, so it's a great card. Like if you're an Apple person, it's a great card. Even if you're just like, you don't care, right? Like if you're somebody who doesn't care, you use mobile wallet a decent amount, it's not a bad card. You get 2% on mobile wallet. So if you just don't want to have multiple credit cards or think that hard, it's a great card. And then have like a travel card if you want. But yeah, Apple Card is in my bronze slot. It hurts, but there it is.
Yep. Points of Philip got his Mac Mini Pro with
there you
his Apple Card. Now, RJ, I've had a set selection for 2-in-1 since the beginning. As we've gone through this, I have been sitting here going, I don't know if I could finish this out this way. I might need to swap these cards.
Okay.
Should I swap them? Sight unseen, you have no idea which one they are.
Yes, because if you're questioning it,
yep,
then that's an indication to swap.
Yep. All right, real quick. Keith, he likes the CSR for the Apple bonus sale. Yep, UR redemptions at the Chase Apple Store, 50% bonus twice a year. Buys all his Apple products that way. Yeah, great way to utilize your UR points.
If you've got a ton of UR points, that makes a sense. If you're somebody who has 7 at times, probably not.
Yeah. So my silver is the Sapphire Reserve. Sapphire Reserve does a lot of good things for me. It is my primary dining card. It is my primary travel and transit card. It is my primary travel card. It is giving me perks like lounge access, giving me perks like signing up for global entry, giving me a known traveler number that I can use for the next couple of years. I've put it on all of the international carriers that I have any interest in flying over the next couple of years. All the US carriers, and I've got my passport in the other ones. But anyway, Sapphire Reserve, really, really strong card. There's one key category for me that I need that it does not provide, and my last card does. And so for that was what was crawling in my head for the last 35 minutes. I really do prioritize that category over everything else, and I don't think I could live with a card that didn't have it.
Interesting.
As the last card in my wallet.
The funny thing is, the Apple Card for most of the day has been my last card. For most of the day.
Okay.
It was my last card. And I moved it because as much as I do love that 0% APR on Apple buys, I can not do that, right? Like I can either use a 0 APR card or just buy it outright and pay like an adult. Like I can, right?
Yeah.
Thankfully, we don't live in a world where you only get one credit card. That's all I'm going to say. But so it's between two cards. Do you know which two cards I have left? Have you been keeping track based
You've
on?
got the personal green and the personal platinum left.
I don't have the green anymore. I got rid of the green back in May.
What'd you do with your green?
I closed it. I just straight up closed it.
Oh, you straight up closed it. Okay, so you're
missing a card that you know I have because we talked about it.
Oh, it's your Hilton Business and your personal plat.
Yes, those are the two left. Would you like to guess which one is getting cut and which one is keeping?
I would say your personal, knowing how you travel and knowing that travel day is sacred, and with the Apple Card previously being number one until about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, I'm going to say the Hilton Business is number two because travel day is sacred to you.
And you were right. My Hilton Business is number two. It is a great card. It is the, outside of a sign-up bonus, it is my most used card. Like in my, you know, once I sort of got the IHG and I figured all that out of what goes where, right? It is my ultimate catch-all card. I love the card, but it doesn't give me into lounges. It doesn't, you know, give me anything else other than Hilton, which it shouldn't. It's a Hilton card. But I'm a fan of lounge. I have a layover. Every time I fly, I have a layover, unless I'm going to LaGuardia or Atlanta or Detroit. Everything else is a layover for me in one of those three spots, which means I want to lounge because I'm not going to do a short layover because I don't want to have to miss my flight and whatever. So it is the Hilton Business that comes in second, and it is the American Express Platinum that somehow, and I did not plan for it to be the platinum at the end of this. I wasn't like, because I went from first out to last. Like I went in that order because it was easy at the top, right? As we were talking about, it's super easy to be like, this one's gone. I don't care. Like order doesn't even matter for like the first, well, the green was really important for me to get out of my wallet. But after that, you know, for a few rounds, it was whatever.
Yeah.
The platinum, I was down to the Delta Reserve, the Apple, the Hilton, and the platinum at the end, going, well, if I got rid of the business, I'll get rid of the Delta Reserve. And then it was those three. And for a long time, the Apple Card, because for 4 years, the Apple Card was the only credit card I used. That was it. I used nothing else but the Apple credit card. So I know that card. I know how I use that card. I know how I spend on that card. I know the redemptions I can get back from it for cash back. I have all of that data because Apple makes it really easy to see all of that data historically. No, that's August, Keith. So yeah, so I had Apple Card, and then I had the same thought in my head that you just said of, but when I travel,
Yep.
Or when I go to a Hilton, or when I need to buy an airline ticket, what happens?
Yep.
And my brain went, can't do it. And then as soon as Apple wasn't number one, it wasn't going to be number two because of the other cards. So it went from 1 to 3. Like I was not getting rid of the Hilton Business if the Apple Card was next. It was always going to be Apple Card, Hilton Business, Platinum. So yeah, Platinum is my number. What, Matt, is the last card standing? The card I wish I could. I want that card so much, and it could be my Visa. I could get it just to be my Visa.
It's a strong card. What is the category I cannot live without? Gas. I spend way too much time in my car. Yeah. Whether it is my personal car, whether it is my, whatever car it is, I spend more time in my car. But they serve sandwiches and Sky Clubs. Yep. Also, Barclays can't pay me enough to carry that card. I will pay Barclays for the JetBlue Premier before I accept payment for a luxury gold card. Yeah, no, it's gas. It's the other categories are also very strong on that card with, travel, transit, streaming. You get the cell phone protection. I don't worry about the cell phone protection. I pay for Apple Care like an adult. But it is, I spend too much time pumping gas, going into gas stations, living in my car.
Have you run the math on 2x versus 3x for that? Like, I'm not doubting you. I'm
not offhand.
And I'm not saying that gas is not an important. I drive an EV, so I haven't had to think about gas in a while. And when I get coffee, I don't do Stewart's, I do Dunkin' Donuts. So it's not like, when I was getting gas, it was easy to run into Stewart's because, well, I've already stopped the car. I might as well get Stewart's. But now I have the EV, so it's just Dunkin'. I would be interested. I would be genuinely interested in your math if it actually makes a functional difference for gas, and gas stations versus your 2x.
I think if I ran absolutely everything through the 2x, that would be one thing. But because I
I mean gas. Like if you did gas at 2x for everything gas related versus. I'm not saying you shouldn't have the autograph. The autograph is a great card, and for Wells ecosystem, it's a no-brainer. I just meant like as much as you value gas, is the 1x for gas that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Like that I had to do that math with the gold card when it came to dining of just like, I have other ways to get 2-3x on dining. Do I really need the 4x? Because I'm not the grocery shopper in my household. So it's interesting. Keith, I've run the numbers on the business platinum. I have tried every way I can get that card to work, and I can't find a way to get it to work the way that the personal platinum does. Largely because of the entertainment and the Walmart Plus. I cannot get delivery where I am typically. I will occasionally, once in a blue moon, be able to get it. But like if I need something at 9:00 at night or 8:00 when I get off of work, the only place I can get delivery for anything is Walmart. So, and Walmart you can get same day where I am. So I need Walmart Plus because I work from home and I don't leave my house during the week. So that is a must. And so that is a no-brainer. The EV credit, the entertainment credit. So I've run the numbers and I come out much better with the personal platinum than I do the business. I've tried to make it work because I loved that Hilton credit, but I also have 2 other cards with Hilton credits. So juggling that third Hilton credit is not hard, but I can't guarantee I'm going to do 3 every quarter the way that I know I can do 2 every quarter.
Right. Filmo, to answer your question, no Speedway credit card for me. I think they're discontinuing the Speedway credit card. I have over 250,000 Speedway points. I don't need the credit card. I can cash out 8,700 of them for 50 cents off a gallon whenever I want. And I like how Lonnie produces more United miles than he knows how to burn. I produce more Speedway points than I know how to burn.
Yeah, I do wonder if Stewart's had their own credit card that just gave you like 5x on ice cream. Like how successful would that card
be on the podcast?
I was thinking more for like Matt and I are not in the same area of New York, but Stewart's knows no bounds. Like Stewart's is one of those things that might be the only thing that unites downstate and upstate.
Yes. Because I can tell you right now, it ain't Quick Trip. Kevin with I live in the Bay Area, SFO. Technically in the past needed a layover in different airports where I need to go in Vietnam, but nowadays there are more airlines go directly. SFO should get you to Vietnam, should get you to Ho Chi Minh pretty easily. I think you can fly into Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi pretty safely from SFO.
Somebody did a map of Stewart's locations, and it might be my favorite thing I've ever seen.
They are all around New York and Vermont.
It's not. I didn't realize that there's none in Western New York. I didn't realize that it really is sort of the long part of New York is where they are.
Oh yeah, no. After you get out past Schenectady, that's when it's
No. But it's interesting. Like this was fun. This was fun for I think Matt and I both to like reconsider what is actually important, right? The Sapphire Reserve being your number 2 with the changes that are about to hit. If you had to recategorize that card based on what the leaked
rumored. Okay.
Is, what do you think?
That is hard because I know
it's hard, but you got to start thinking about it, buddy.
Well, yeah, I don't have another card that does global entry or pre-check, but like I'm covered with that. I'm covered with that now for 5 years, so I don't need to worry about that for 5 years. So that's good.
It's also it's something you can pay for. Like we all talk about global entry like it's an invite only, but you can in fact just pay for it.
It's not so much that it's for invite only. It's just that I want to get it reimbursed whenever possible.
Which is totally fair, but you can just pay for it.
Yes. And I did once. So anyway, that is my travel day card. So I would need a new travel day card, whatever card that would be, whether I venture over to Amex or I venture to Capital One. Should I get rid of the card? I just don't see myself going to Capital One right now.
I can't see you as a Capital One man.
Rumored changes, like I'd be betting hard on the portal hotels gaining access to. I can't see Hilton. I can see Marriott. I can see IHG. Yeah. I can see Hyatt. And if I can book through the portal and get 8 times points through the Chase portal at Hyatt, booking a Hyatt, getting my night counted at Hyatt, and then I can turn those 8 times points into more Hyatt stays by converting them over to Hyatt, that is still a major win for me. $800 is tough to do that, but it is still potentially valuable because then the Sapphire Reserve becomes the number 1 Hyatt card.
Do you think so? We know that the Platinum is probably late 25, early 26, or mid 26 for its refresh, just based on past time. Do you think this opens the door for a bigger Amex refresh than they might have typically gone for? Do you think this opens the door for the Beyond to come out stronger? Like, it almost feels like once the first company comes out with their refresh, it seems like every company comes out with their big refresh for a card like this. I think the gold card, not necessarily, because it's sort of, it is a niche. As much as we talk about it, it's a niche card. But the Platinum, the Sapphire Reserve, those are mainline cards, right? So do you think that opens the door for it?
It definitely does, because it creates, like, it resets the market to an extent. With American Express, I don't know if it would get them to consider doing a big, because we don't know the size of the refresh that they are planning. Right. Because their 50th anniversary is going to be
1 refresh from now.
1 refresh from now. So that's
a refresh, and then the 50th will be the
5 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay. So at 45, okay. Because I thought it was sooner than that. I thought it was like 3 years out.
No, I think they just had 45. Hold on. When did the Amex Platinum launch? Amex Platinum launched in 1984.
1984. So its 50th anniversary would be 2034.
Right. So they're going to have, I think, maybe they have 2 refreshes before then.
Well, this would then be the mini refresh where, you know, it goes from 695 to, so this is the
Yeah.
one where you're probably looking at like
But you could
849 or
you
something
could
like
do
that.
a refresh. You could do a larger refresh now. At 5 years, do a tightening of things, just getting ready, and then the big one at 50.
Yes.
So this would be a medium size refresh in theory.
In theory, but then you're looking at an annual fee. So what does a medium versus a large refresh look like? Because a medium refresh to me
Get
from
rid of the Equinox
695,
credit for the dear love of God. Just get rid of that credit.
sure, but you're going from 695 to, let's say medium would be, so medium would
850.
be 850 to anywhere from 850 to 995.
Yeah.
Because like they
But
don't
you
want
have
to
to
cross
give
that $1,000 barrier.
you
Yeah.
have to, I think, give Delta Silver at that point. If you're at 995, you either have to do Hilton Diamond or Delta Silver.
Yeah. I don't know if Chase Rug pulled refresh tsunami. Yep. So does this create, I think it would, Amex and Chase operate independent of each other. Like they're very well aware of one another, right?
Yes, but I also think Amex is, for as much as I love or hate, Amex doesn't like not being the most prestigious, regardless of what we think of the Platinum.
Right.
The Platinum is a prestigious card. If it is not the most expensive, there are going to be certain circles that see it dip in prestige, and I do not think Amex is going to like that.
Yeah, they probably have a refresh loaded for 850 or anywhere from 850 to 995.
Yeah.
I think they've got that kind of well kicked. I don't know what that refresh looks like, but I do think that they have a refresh somewhere in the cards already.
Somehow it'll be Marriott Silver.
Gonna be Marriott Gold at minimum. I don't know so I don't know. This would open a door for Strata Elite. This would open a door for Autograph Beyond. This would open a door. I don't know what sort of door it opens for Capital One, because like Capital One just did the announcement of their lounges, right? The lounge.
I don't think Capital One is playing the same game as everyone else right now because they have so much work to do that they almost need to work independently for a little while and get things. Oh, Josh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, Josh. For if you'd like to know what we're talking about, join the Stack Your Points Discord. But yeah. But no, it's something where I think Capital One they have so much work to do on their lineup because they cannot be the company they want to be and still have the Quicksilver for good credit, the Quicksilver, like they can have the student version of some of their cards, but I think the problem is that the way that it's structured right now doesn't work. What do I expect for Amex Platinum in 2034? To have to sell a small organ to pay for it. I will somehow make it work, I'm sure.
This is probably the one where the Platinum would definitely cross $1,000 a year. Yeah. Probably closer to 2,500. Not 2,500. Sorry, 1,250.
Yeah.
I doubled my number. I'm sorry. I was trying to say 1,250 and it came out 2,500. I don't know what happened.
You're giving me heart palpitations because somebody said I was created in a lab, or Amex was created in a lab for me. We haven't figured out which came first. And I know the credits and the card is going to work for me because that's just what Amex and I have decided our lives are. And the idea of dropping 2,500 on a card, like, I'm gonna do it if I have to, but oh god.
Graphite or Catalyst, whichever one is going to be the one that goes over the top of the Platinum card, is going to have some work to do.
I think it's going to be Graphite. Graphite makes more sense for green, gold, platinum. Graphite Centurion than Catalyst. Catalyst sounds like the start of something, since it is the start of something.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, so that's the one where it goes to 1250, probably. 1250 would still be a bitter pill to swallow.
1250 is rough, but the platinum is all about what it has and how that works for you. Like, you know what you're getting. I see. Here's the thing, Kevin. Like, for me, it's not a pain in the butt. Like, the entertainment credit and the Walmart credit just automatically come off. I don't think about it. And there's other credits that I do have to think about, but for me, like, that is so easy for me to do. For half of the annual fee is right there.
Yeah.
So I don't, I mean, look, if it's worth the 2,500, I'll pay it. Like, if I can get rid of most of my other cards and the platinum is 2x and has a bunch has, you know, Hilton platinum or Hilton diamond and Delta silver, and I can get rid of cards for it, it might be worth it. I pay 2,500 total right now. If I could cut down 3 of my annual fee cards into 1, then for me, that's not a problem. Again, for me.
Yeah. So we're only guessing 2034 because that would be the 50th anniversary of the card, and
there's no way they don't have a 50th anniversary refresh. This is American Express. It's going to be the year of the, like, they're going to announce a new thing for the card every all of the 12 months.
Oh yeah, there'll be special nonsense throughout that 12-month period.
I have to get this off my chest because it drives me crazy. Amex, by and large, offers most of their offers across cards. So when you see the McDonald's offer on the platinum, it's not a specific platinum offer. It's just one of the offers, and it happens to be on that card. Because people talk about this on Reddit all the time. And I'm like, guys, it's part of Amex offers. Like, some of them are specific to the platinum. Usually it's wine. But just, like, lay off the McDonald's jokes with the platinum. Like, it stopped being funny a while ago.
Well, most of the McDonald's jokes are just like, there will be a recurring $5 a week McDonald's credit or something like that.
No, they do it because there's offers. Like, spend $15 in the app, get $5 back. But that'll be on like 4 of my cards. Like, once you have enough Amex cards, you start to recognize where
the patterns are.
I would love to see the breakdown of people who have cash back versus travel cards. Like, I would genuinely like to see that breakdown. I don't necessarily know if that's true, but I don't know that it's not.
Yeah, I don't know offhand. All of my travel cards can be cashed out at 1 cent per point. And I
don't think that's at all what they're talking about, though.
Yeah. No, probably not. And I make a conscious effort to make sure that that's the case. Well, with the exception of my JetBlue card.
I do not care. I am so deep in Amex, or I'm so deep in Amex and Hilton specifically, that I gave up those dreams long ago.
That's fair.
But I also am doing it consciously. It's not something that I assume it can be cashed out at 1 cent per point. I know it. Once the platinum gets closed, or once the business platinum gets closed, it won't be the option. Filmo, if somebody's using a platinum at McDonald's, they better be working a damn sub. That's all I'm going to say. Or it's their only card.
More than likely is their only card.
We've all been there.
Have we? Because I haven't.
I have been in a situation where the platinum was my only physical credit card on me, and I could not, like, I did not have my phone. My phone was in the car, and I didn't want to walk back.
GB, if you had the Redstone signature, would that be your final card? If I could get it, but that requires geofencing myself into Alabama and portions of Tennessee now, and I don't want to live there, and I don't want to go through the process of trying to figure out getting it and doing the interview and being granted the card without going through living in Alabama or Tennessee. And so, no.
I can't get into a Delta Lounge with the Redstone signature card. So no, it would not.
If I had the Redstone, would that be my final card? It's a good card at 5x gas and 5x dining. It's kind of then like what else I can do with the card, because like with at least with like the Wells Fargo card, I can convert it for cash, I can convert it to miles, I can do all these other things. Like I'd have to cash out everything. I could cash out everything and buy points if I needed to. So it wouldn't be a bad card to use.
That is truly great, Josh. That is Filmo, I do have a genuine question for you. Like I'm genuinely curious. This is not me making a joke. In the last 24 months, Filmo, how many of those months were you working a welcome offer? Like how many of those months were you on a sub? Because I know you have subs the way some people change their underwear, which I respect. If I had the credit profile, maybe I would do that too. Or the brain chemistry, one or the other. I am genuinely curious of the last 24 months. You have worked well. Okay. All 24 months. Okay.
I want to say the Redstone card also is like 1.5%. Sorry, I'm going back to this.
It's okay. Yeah, no, I get it, Keith. I understand. But for me, if I could close 3 cards and just have one at that annual fee, for me, I would be okay with that. But all of my high annual fee cards are with Amex for specific reasons with Amex. So if I didn't need them and I could get the benefits, then for me, it would be easier. I would have less to calculate.
Hey, I'm planning a company picnic and need to have enough space for everyone.
Yeah.
Are you planning a company picnic, Matt? Are we having a Stack Your Points picnic?
At some point, probably.
That would actually be kind of awesome.
Yeah. I forgot that the Redstone also gives you 3% at discount stores and wholesale clubs. So
That would be nice.
There might be a place for it, actually.
The problem, of course, with me keeping my platinum is I would have to not use Costco ever.
Yeah.
Or I would have to use a debit card, which would probably hurt. I have the Fidelity card, though, the cash management card. I think that's a Visa, so I could technically use that. The Stack Your Points picnic would be pretty awesome. We would that would be fun. One day. Yes, Mike, it is geofenced. It is heavily geofenced now. Heavily geofenced now. Like they're basically TSA it. Ooh. Okay, but Matt, this would be really fun. Some Stewarts have EV chargers now.
And they cater.
Yeah. And the coffee's honestly not bad.
No.
Plus ice cream. That is the true that is the true reason. Their hot dogs aren't honestly that bad either. Like if you're hungry, like I've had worse.
I don't want to eat it with a fork.
You can't do the bun. I can do the bun.
Yeah.
But there's enough food in a Stewart's that you can find something without gluten. I was going to say that pizza, but that is more gluten.
That is all gluten. That is just.
They do sometimes have like chicken. Like they'll have like the one I am near. I am near many. I shouldn't say the one. One of the ones I am near. Will
Is
have
it grilled?
Sometimes. Yeah, it's like a grilled chicken. It's like a chicken breast.
Make it near a president's grave, and Dugrass will bring corn and milk. Well, we have plenty of presidential graves around us.
We could do a trip down to Mount Vernon. We'll do the Stack Your Points FDR tour. I have done the FDR tour. It's actually really interesting.
Yep. No, it's a good one. FDR, very like interesting case in like historical what if.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get like multiple points of doing it, because like what if oh god, what was his name? James
What
Cox?
if he didn't pick Truman?
Nah, he was forced into Truman.
Yes, Matt, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. What if he had won the vice presidency in 1920?
Mm-hmm.
Then like he doesn't get polio. He also
not getting polio is generally preferable to getting polio.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Because he got it literally the year after. Like he was like not even recovering, but like yeah. He contracted polio the year after he lost the vice presidency. That had to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that is rough. Josh, your life right now is transient. Your phase in life right now is transient. It will change. Maybe you'll enjoy the cashing out of subs. Maybe you won't. We'll see. Just make sure to keep all your tax documents properly in line if you're cashing out a bunch of points.
Yeah. Yeah, I do not envy Josh's phase of life there.
No. Still doing his Star Trek rewatch. Josh, where are you in the Star Trek rewatch? I'm interested.
Where was he? Because if I go back to the We Are All Nerds channel, where is the We Are All Nerds channel? There it is.
It's up in the lounge.
Yep. Oh, he was at Worf is a really terrible father.
Yeah.
Which is true. Worf is a really terrible father.
Are there any truly great parents? Like, or even, I mean, Beverly, maybe, but like, but only the first kid. The second kid, I don't know. I don't know with Jack if Beverly was perhaps the greatest mother.
Yeah, no, hold on.
Freeman? Is Carol Freeman the best parent in Star Trek?
I don't know, because I don't know what she did to turn Beckett. Like, I don't know the full relationship with Carol and the Admiral to make Beckett so rebellious, but like that level of rebellion, something happened.
I feel like with Beckett, it could just be like, man, I don't know. We dropped her on her head as a baby, and just this is what. Don't turn off the anti-gravity.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Is Carol Freeman the best parent in Star Trek? Just went to, we dropped her on her head. I'm sorry.
Just saying. I didn't say she dropped her. I'm just, maybe Beckett was dropped. We don't know. No, I genuinely, Star Trek is not the beacon of maybe Will and Troy. Like, they moved to a planet to try to save their kid.
Oh, Rex has a really strong one. Riker and Troy moving for their son is up there. Mbenga is a really great dad. Yeah. That's a sad storyline, but yeah.
Ensign Wildman. Voyager. She had Naomi.
Oh.
She was the human. Her husband was something else that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. She's a pretty good one.
Here's the thing. This is how far you have to go down the rabbit hole of parents in Star Trek.
Yeah. Because Lwaxana's a terrible parent.
I mean, but Mrs. Star Trek can parent however she wants.
Data is a parent for an episode. He created his daughter, and his daughter, the actress who played his daughter, eventually was the mom on Lizzie McGuire.
There you go. I don't know if I get. We didn't see Paris and Torres as parents, but that would be an interesting household to grow up in. Cisco, I have not seen. I still haven't watched vast swaths of DS9, so I can't comment on Cisco's parenting.
Benjamin is an excellent father, and his grandpa Cisco is a little bit of a dick for hiding portions of Benjamin's past, but also looks out for the family. So I can kind of go with that one. Lal was Data's daughter's name. That's right. Haley Todd played Lal. That's the daughter of Tony Todd. Interesting.
Any relation to Sweeney?
No, but Tony Todd played Candyman?
I think that's right, Vincent. I think.
Basically raised Jake by himself after the Borg killed Jennifer. Yes, that's right. And hence his burning hatred for Picard.
Porthos. The captain that had Porthos, possibly the best parent.
Keiko is also a good mother. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's just bad, though.
Admiral Paris was decorated and Tom was a rebel. He also like just wanted a hug from his father. That could have like Tom Paris getting a hug. Thank you, Josh. I knew my brain wanted to say Spears, and I'm like, no, that's not quite right now. It's been a long day. No, if Tom got a hug from his father at any point, I think he probably wouldn't have been a rebel. Just really wanted a hug. But yeah, no. Especially mother. Like Star Trek has a weird relationship with mothers.
Yeah.
Like Losana was the most featured mother, really. I mean Beverly, but that's a main character who has a kid versus like a mother. You know what I mean? Like she was sort of a character, but yeah, Picard. Star Trek Picard has some of my favorite moments and some of my least favorite moments in Star Trek history, all wrapped up together. You know what, the pods that they put 709 in definitely changed and grew her as a human.
I don't know that the cybernetic race.
So, okay, Seven's parents may win worse parents simply by taking your child to go study the Borg.
Yeah, that's.
Though B'Elanna Torres' mother also is not winning many awards, or her father.
Most Klingon parents are not winning too many awards. Like Kalar is probably the best Klingon parent I can think of.
I could see B'Elanna Torres being a pretty good mom. Like, I think she is like Tom, especially the episode Tom is like, you know, like, so the kid has 3 lungs. It'll be fine. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, you know, that spiral. That was not, I mean, but Q is Q. So like, what do we expect? The mom from Picard, the not Picard's mom, but the doctor with the kid who what's his oh god, I can't think of his name. The captain of the why can I not think of his name? I can see his face. The guy that stays in the in the past.
Rios.
Yes, thank you. My brain. Okay, that is absolutely correct. And now I enjoy that. And Naomi and 7 of 9's friendship was very sweet. That's one of the best uses of children on Star Trek. But yes, Rios, the woman that Rios stays in the past with, her and her son, also a good mom. Apparently, Queen, not a good mom.
No. Apparently, to be a good parent, you have to be featured in so few episodes that flaws can't possibly be.
I would love to get Matt to do a Star Trek podcast. I'm working on him, guys. I'm really trying. I would love to do it. I will watch Deep Space Nine if we do a Star Trek podcast.
Ooh. Season 1 is rough.
Sober Raffi is a good parent. Not sober Raffi is.
That is not just the case for Raffi. That is the case for all parents.
Yes, but Raffi specifically had that issue. Yes, Matt, come on. We can do a Star Trek podcast, and then we can tie it to all the other things.
The 3 of us could do a Star Trek podcast, sure.
Josh,
we'd have to come up with our own drunk Shimoda, but yeah.
I feel we can do it. I mean, a rewatch podcast is super fun to do.
Yes.
So I think we should do it.
We could definitely do that.
Geordi of the main characters, Geordi might be within the top percent. We see him more on Picard as a dad.
Yeah. Well, his daughter's the navigator the navigator of the whatever the ship that 7 eventually captains.
Yeah. The Picard, actually. It wasn't, or did they go with, no, they went with Enterprise. They went with Enterprise, some letter G, maybe.
J, I think at that point. I don't know.
Commander Tucker tried. Okay, he got pregnant. Like that poor boy, that poor Southern boy did not know what was going on.
Rex asks, what credit cards would appeal to your average Ferengi? And of course, Josh has the quick answer: constantly churning subs.
I will say, like, the end of Enterprise, especially because they did not expect it to end when it did. Like, Commander Tucker would have been a really good dad to Elizabeth. Like, he would have done that very well. That kid would be 5 holding a wrench to a warp core, but you know what? It's better than, Vulcan salutes at 5 on the bridge. That kid would have just a little bit of a temper, though. Enterprise J. Thank you. I knew it was an Enterprise.
Oh, okay. Azadi Prime. Oh, no, that's from an Enterprise episode.
Oh, okay.
So wait, hold on. So
it was an Enterprise. I do know that.
D crashes into...
Hold on. What's the ship at the end of Star Trek Picard? Nope. Enterprise G. I was right. It was the Enterprise G.
Okay.
It's a refit of the Titan.
Refit of the Titan. Okay. So I don't remember what the F would have been.
Yes. Thank you.
We never see F. Temporal War Arc. Enterprise G is under command of Captain 7. Okay.
Okay.
As Captain 7, not Captain Hansen?
No, she was very clear about what she wanted to be called.
F was destroyed by Worf, and it wasn't his fault. Okay, so that's part of that last season of Picard. Got it.
Yeah, no. 7 was very clear about what she... Though, I always thought it should be Captain of 9, but she seems not to use that as her last name.
No.
She like Cher, just goes by the singular.
Yeah. They gave Worf the F. Okay. I figured Worf had the Defiant. Well, Worf would have had the Defiant after Sisko disappeared. That was not my fault. Well, yeah.
Which is the one that Troy crashed? Was that E?
No, that would have been the D.
Okay.
The D is the one where the saucer section like slams into the planet in Generations.
That's right.
Where you have the Data yelling out, "Oh shit!"
Yes. Matt, Josh, we need to talk offline about the Star Trek podcast. And maybe, hey, Josh, what is the pin game like for Star Trek? I'm curious. Oh, she crashed the D, E, and the E. I knew she crashed more than one. Look, not everybody should be a bridge officer, but she wanted to be a commander.
Troy rammed the E into the cemetery. Great. Now I have to go back and watch Star Trek Nemesis.
It's Star not Trek as bad Nemesis. As people say. It's not good. It's not as bad as people say.
Tom Hardy nearly quit acting altogether because of Star Trek Nemesis.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's not as bad as like a thing that is on my television. I would rather watch Star Trek Nemesis than The Real Housewives of any city.
Yes. GB, it is a great collection of shows. There is spanning the last 60 years.
Yes, she is the wife of Gene Roddenberry. Therefore, she is the mother. Technically, Lucille Ball is the mother of Star Trek, and Majel Barrett is Mrs. Star Trek.
Star Trek, yes. So, GB, pretty much any series you jump into, first seasons of every series is going to be a little bit rough. There's no really strong first season.
I think Enterprise's first season isn't bad.
Enterprise isn't.
You know bad. What? You know what? Beth, I will put my cards down. The best first season of any Star Trek show is Lower Decks.
I'm willing to grant you Lower Decks. Strange New World is also pretty solid, but Strange New World has the
Rex. Jesus. No comment. Yes, Vincent. She's also the first lady of Star Trek. She's also the voice of the computer in a lot of things, and sometimes they will reuse her in newer stuff. They'll have her there. And on the last season of Picard, when they go to the bridge again, when they boot up everything, her voice comes up. That was the most, I think, like, I actually like got a little bit clumped like that here, because I did not expect her voice to just pop up, and I was like, oh, because she had just passed away.
Yeah. If we were to do it, where would we start? At the very beginning?
We can do a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of options of how to do this.
Yes. I do like Stranger World's first season. But
I have
Lower
not
Decks
seen
is
Strange
probably
New World.
the strongest of them. Haven't been able to get into Enterprise first couple episodes. I just couldn't get through. That's fair.
Yes, the new Nurse Chapel. Live react to RJ watching DS9. There's a lot of things we can do. Matt, Josh, and I will talk. But no, this is I've been trying to get Matt to do a nerdy thing for a while, and we keep doing Star Trek on Live, so we might as well do it as a podcast. Josh is excited. Matt, you've gotten Josh excited.
Sweet.
You can't say no now. Josh, I still want to know how the pin game is for Star Trek. I wasn't joking about that. I know the con game is very strong. Also, Star Trek is partly the reason that we have some of the fan fiction we do.
Mm-hmm. So what I did in my head was I confused New Nurse Chapel, who is an Australian actress, and I forget her name. I confused her with another Australian actress who played another Doctor in the J.J. Abrams universe.
Mm.
And I'm blanking on both of their names.
Keith, Enterprise, you have to like just know what Enterprise is going to be. Like it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite Star Trek, but I have a soft spot for the characters more than the show.
I think part of the issue with Enterprise is that it's the first real retconning of the universe. Alice Eve is who played Carol Marcus. That's right, Into Darkness. That was done for certain reasons, but I was here for them because I'm a man.
Enterprise has some really great moments, like the idea that they don't have transporters and that they don't have all of the things, and that we're meeting new species. I love that. I love Phlox. Like, I love him as a Doctor and a character. Like, he was super interesting. The problem is, like Matt was saying, like the retconning of, we're going to talk about a time that we kind of already know a lot about, like, is hard because you can't introduce things and be like, but it's not in any other Star Trek. Like, why is this thing not in any other Star Trek? So that makes it difficult. But I do, like, T'Pol is a super interesting character. Like, and I really wish we had gotten the swerve that she was part Romulan, because I think that would have been super interesting. I did not need the 5 alien species that have the same, like, a proto species, and like one is aquatic and one is a bug and one is a primate. Like, I could have done without that plot line.
All right. Rex has already given us the name.
Zach, your Go Press Platinum is a great title.
I'm sort of on board with that one. We already covered that one. Jess Bush. Although I go back and forth between Enterprise and DS9. DS9 is some pretty spectacular Star Trek. Starry, we can go back to credit cards, so that's fine. I wasn't keen on the Trek universe going into the prequel route with Enterprise, but Enterprise did have some solid moments. Yeah, I think a lot of it was like going to this time before what we knew of established Star Trek, and then like when they had to force the mirror universe.
Yeah, the mirror universe is rough. I sort of wish we got something like after Kirk, like in the years after Kirk had done his thing, where like you sort of have to clean up some of that and you have to like reintroduce things and like sort of that stuff that I think could have been a good Enterprise show. Yes. I would like us to have warp drive. I would maybe not like World War III though. That one is a little rough.
A little bit. That's fair. That they did get that intro right, but yeah, how would we do that? We could try to do super chronological nonsense and just do like First Contact as the first thing you'd watch, and then go into Enterprise, and then go into.
The problem with doing it in that chronological order is something just will not make sense.
No.
But yeah, no. Yeah, but
that just sounds like a trivial number.
You, me, and Josh will talk about this because I want to do it. And now that you've half agreed on a live stack your points, I feel like we need to do it, Matt.
Yeah. That would get to 1,000 subscribers much quicker than Stack Your Points will.
Yes, but we can cross promote.
Yes, we will. We will cross promote the hell out of it.
We'll have the credit card corner on the Star Trek podcast where we just pick the wallet of a random person. It's like, hey, I have these 4 cards. Whose wallet do you think this is?
It's post-scarcity universe. None of them have credit cards.
Yes, I understand that.
Sorry. What was your favorite Star Trek movie?
Oh, man. I don't know if I have a favorite Star Trek movie. I do enjoy the Riker Troy wedding scene just because of sort of the comedy there, and you can tell the actors are just like, stack your phasers. Yes, guys, put your ideas for what our Star Trek podcast could be called, please, because that is the most excruciating point of trying to come up with a podcast, like figuring out what the hell to call it. Voyage Home is good. I don't know. I like the 2-part finals. Those are my favorite movies, is when they have a 2-part final on a Star Trek season.
Best of Both Worlds as a movie would be a really good movie.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that would be like a 3-parter because it's Best of Both. No, that's like a 4-parter because Best of Both Worlds leads into the season 4 introduction, which is like Picard living with it. Well, absconding with Picard and then living with the consequences and brothers. What would God want with the starship? Yeah, I don't like Star Trek. I do not like Final Frontier. Final Frontier is really bad. Undiscovered Country is way up there for me. Original Wrath of Khan is way up there for me. Honestly, for the movies, I think it's between those two.
Yeah.
Generations is really good. Voyage Home is really good. What kind of sours Voyage Home is the fact that like it's that 3-movie arc of Khan, Search for Spock, Voyage Home, and Search for Spock drops the ball so hard.
So I'm on Rotten Tomatoes because it's just the first site that popped up. Of all of the Star Trek movies, what is the lowest ranked with 20% on the tomato meter?
Oh God, there are some duds. Okay, first guess. First guess would be Final Frontier, except the J.J. Abrams movies exist.
They do, and they're included in this. All of the Star Trek movies are included in this. And no, Josh, you're not right.
No, it's not motion picture. Okay.
There are
Since this is
14 of them,
stuff.
by the way.
Yeah, that's the problem. And you lose the even number ones are good after the TNG movies. All right. Here's how I'm going to break this down.
Okay.
Is it a J.J. Abrams movie?
No.
Sorry, is it a J.J. Abrams universe? So no. Okay.
It is not a it's a newer movie. I'll say that.
It's a newer movie, but it's
Mhm.
not one of Star Trek Into Darkness or I'm blanking on the last one.
It's not. No, it's not those 3 movies.
Section 31 would
It
make
is Section 31.
Oh, really?
20%. Number 14. Number 13 is Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
Okay.
That has 23% on the tomato meter, so not far off from each other. Nemesis is number 12 with 38%. So quite a big jump between those.
Yeah.
11 is Star Trek Generations with 47%. Star Trek The Motion Picture is 10 with 52%.
Okay.
Insurrection is number 9 with 55%. 8 is Star Trek The Search for Spock with 78%. So now everything from here is above 78%. And we're at number 8. Star Trek 4 The Voyage Home is 81%. Undiscovered Country is 6 with 83%. Into Darkness, 84%, number 5. Wrath of Khan, number 4, 86%.
That's from
Huh?
Those 2 movies should not be anywhere even close to each other.
Well, guess what? They are. Star Trek Beyond, 86%. Number 3. Star Trek First Contact, number 2, 93%. And the number 1 movie per Rotten Tomatoes, Star Trek 2009, 94%.
Yeah, see, Rotten Tomatoes just lost all respect for that.
Not saying I agree. I'm reading the list.
No, Wrath of Khan is significantly better than Into Darkness. Into Darkness is just a Wrath of Khan remake. And like
Gotta have some Star Trek references. I would love to put Star Trek references in our membership for Stack Your Points. And if we do the Star Trek podcast, like they'll probably be ranks. Like it'll be Ensign, LJJ, Lieutenant, things like that.
Somebody's gonna be red shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or as my family referred to them, Lieutenant Victim.
Or Ensign Victim.
And more often than not, Ensign Victim.
Yeah. Nemesis tried to be another Wrath of Khan. Nemesis tried to be 7 movies in a trench coat. That's part of the problem.
It's a huge part of the problem. Nemesis drove Tom Hardy to nearly quit acting altogether. You don't get a lot of Tom Hardy movies if he actually quits.
The Wrath of Clausen.
No, that's probably going to be a podcast title for like
when the CSR drops. That probably will be the title. Actually, 2 weeks, guys.
Wrath of Lonnie.
Oh God, that you and Lonnie. I don't know if I'm going to talk on that podcast. I'm just gonna sit there and watch.
Some groceries. Oh God. 14 times points on Gach.
Oh God. But yeah, no, Josh, we're all 3 of us need to talk.
4x points on Catch Yourself White.
But what about Earl Grey? Hot. Is there a special category for Earl Grey tea or coffee?
Both would have higher multipliers than the drug that fueled the Dominion or the Jem'Hadar.
Fair.
Yeah, Catch Yourself White's the drug. Monthly. Oh, a monthly Dabo credit. Nice. Is the monthly Dabo credit applicable to Dabo girls?
I want to know what cards the Orions have. Like, I feel like if any culture has credit cards, it's the Orions, especially the lower decks Orions.
No, it is not.
Tendi might have the best wallet.
Probably. It's prune juice, by the way. Only if you spend 75K per year. Ooh.
It's a lot of Latinum.
That is a lot of Latinum, but that would get you a lot of time with an Orion girl. So much time.
Yeah, but they're just going to dose you with pheromones and you're going to sit in a corner hallucinating.
I feel like I'd be okay with this.
As long as you know going in.
Yeah, as long as it's not like whatever the hell the Telosians did to Pike. Yeah. Stack your points for a trip for a Star Trek themed restaurant. Maybe? Are there any Star Trek themed restaurants left?
Oh, I don't know. I'm now the most excited I have been in weeks. I'm as excited as some people are for the CSR refresh on this idea of doing the Star Trek podcast.
On Amex card, I have a Synthahol credit. Sure. I feel like you could do that with DoorDash. No, because that's just alcohol.
That is what that is. Yeah, Matt. You can get non-alcoholic alcohol now, like spirits that do not have alcohol in them.
No.
Or very, very small amounts. Because it's really hard to remove all alcohol from things. Like even bananas have like 1%.
Yeah. Anyway. I do love that the movie that saved Tom Hardy. I get hung up on the Tom Hardy thing just because it's like really sad to think, but the movie that started the savior of Tom Hardy features Colm Meaney, and it's Layer Cake.
Yeah. I still need to see the movie where he's like alone in the car for the entire time. That is supposed to be really good.
I'm blanking on which one that is.
He is like having several nervous breaks. Like he keeps having like phone calls with people as he's driving around. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
I think we have hit our we've hit our 2 hours as we are wont to do. And I think we have work to do, Matt.
Apparently now we have homework. So, the Stack Your Life portion of the Stack Your Audience podcast has apparently birthed another podcast that we're going to potentially start. And then there's like that other project that RJ wants to do.
If we do the Star Trek, I might punt that for a year because that'll be when that particular thing will be more applicable.
We're going to run out of time.
2026 it'll work. Between January and November, there's a lot of time, Matt.
No, I mean, if we start that next project, like there's this project.
Look, I'm more interested in Star Trek now than the end of the world. Like, can I have something hopeful, Matt? Like, give me the one that's hopeful. Right now, I will take the hopeful thing over the reality.
Okay, that's fine. We will converse, and it sounds like we're going to start a Star Trek podcast.
I've already created a doc for it.
All right.
Actually, I created a ChatGPT group for it so I can start asking ChatGPT to do things for me.
We need a variation of Drunk Shimoda.
Yes.
Because we got to find the person who's having the most fun. Ben, Adam, please don't sue us. Like we're doing this in homage, sort of.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Anyway. I think that's going to do it for this round of Stack Your Live. Check back with us next week as we will thank you, GB. As we will be recording next Monday is the next pod, and then 2 weeks from now we're going to have the pod that will kind of end all pods if the CSR is.
Yes, and then the live between it. Like you and I get to go live on that Thursday, so all the information should be out by that Thursday.
Yes.
So we should be good. And we appreciate you guys sticking around. I like Wrath of Clausen. I don't think the Clausen part works. Not that I don't love Matt's name, but you know.
Wrath of Clausen will likely be the episode name for if the CSR goes south.
Yes.
Or it's the live title next week if the CSR goes south.
CSR TNG.
CSR TNG. There we go. Also, special shout out to Mike, who donated 20 memberships to my channel. Thank you so much for that. We've been simulcasting on my channel and Stack Your Points, just so that we can get that audience coming over. Please subscribe to the Stack Your Points podcast if you like the stuff that we do here, talking about credit cards, credit card theory, credit card point stacking, travel, stuff like that. It's RJ, Lonnie, myself, Craig, and Tariq. Tariq is on assignment, but life is lifing. When life stops lifing so hard, we'll be glad to get Tariq back in. Tariq will join us on lives from time to time. I'm sure we'll get Tariq on the Sapphire Reserve reaction live. Yeah. We can see what we can do about that. But yeah, check us out. StackYourPoints.com. Join the Stack Your Points Discord through StackYourPoints.com. All of our podcast episodes are up on StackYourPoints.com. You can find us on podcatchers. You can find us here on YouTube. We drop the full episode split in half on Wednesday and Friday. The mailbag gets broken up on Tuesday, and the topics get broken up on Monday. So we have content now throughout the week. So check us out. If you like what we do, hit that like and subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers, and we can open up memberships here on YouTube on Stack Your Points, and that way I can simulcast a little bit less. And not that I don't enjoy it, but yeah, thanks so much for watching to the end, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.